This is Joey D with UTV Underground, and this special video project is dedicated to the men and women of our U.S. Armed Forces. Moab. From the sky, it looks mythical, almost otherworldly. When you're standing on the mountaintops, you feel as though you're on top of the world, like there are no limits. It's just thousands of miles of colorful canyons and mesas. Moab is located just south of the Colorado River on the Colorado Plateau in Utah. It's home to some of the best rock crawling and trail riding in North America. We come here every year for the Rally on the Rocks event, but this year was special. For this year's Moab trip, we called Robert Blanton and asked him to bring 3 warfighters and their wives with him to Moab so that we could share this place with some of our wounded veterans, so we could give back. Robert is a 21-year retired reconnaissance Marine who served for 4 combat tours in Iraq. He received the Silver Star Medal, the nation's 3rd highest valor award, for extraordinary heroism. Robert co-founded Warfighter Made with fellow veterans Brian T. Meyer and friend Butch Lynch, and has been a full-time volunteer ever since. For this trip, Robert invited Marine Corporal Michael Fox and his wife Erica, Marine Sergeant Gabriel Martinez and his wife Kayla, and Marine Corporal Joshua Sust. Mike, Gabe, and Josh were all victims of brutal IED attacks while serving in Afghanistan. Mike and Gabe both lost their legs in separate IED attacks. Josh was hit and nearly lost his foot and arm. 9 surgeries later, he's able to operate with the use of both arms and legs, but the visible and hidden scars are there for all 3 of these men. Mark Epsky, the marketing manager for Razor, came along on our trip as well. Mark and the team at Polaris have made a massive commitment to supporting Warfighter Made and our wounded veterans.
We're doing this trip again because the first trip was such a phenomenal experience, and our injured warfighters took so much away from it, and it was just fantastic to get these guys in these Polaris Razors and go out and just have fun.
People ask me all the time where my favorite place is to off-road. I always tell them it's Moab. Moab is one of those places you can go to and drive in every different type of terrain. It's also one of the most scenic places in the world. Moab is challenging, both for the individual and for the machine. We found out that our friends Tanner and Greg Godfrey were in town. Greg is the founder of Nitro Circus and the Godfrey clan. Tanner is his nephew, who was involved in a terrible motorcycle accident back in 2007, which left him paralyzed from the waist down. Tanner was the perfect guy to come along on this trip with us. Not only is he an avid off-road enthusiast and Polaris Razor fan, he's also an inspiration. Every trail has its own set of obstacles. The big one for Hell's Revenge is Hell's Gate. And when I heard that Joshua Sust wanted to go ahead and take it on, I was shocked. I went and ran to my Razor to grab my tow strap, figuring I'd have to put a safety rope on him. But as I got back to the top of the obstacle, he was powering up 3-wheel motion right to the top.
Brandon goes, no, oh, no, oh, okay.
We had a lot of fun that day on Hell's Revenge. After an awesome lunch with Camp Chef, we powered up to the top where we played around in the hot tubs for hours. Greg Godfrey, who's always good for a laugh and good for challenging him and everyone else around him, found a way to put his Razor inside of every hot tub we could find.
It's a good thing we have some additional power up here in the Ten Amigos.
Hell's Revenge was the perfect trail to ride and get everyone acclimated to their razors. But this trip wasn't just about riding. It was about getting to know who these warfighters are and learn more about all that they have been through.
So I was injured in Musikala, Afghanistan, Helmand Province, in November 12th, 2011 with 2nd Marine 4th Division. My injuries I sustained is open fractures both bones, left arm, and shattered tibial and fibula in my left foot. Also TBI and PTSD. Things I had to go through is spent 27 days in the hospital, 9 surgeries later. Still in constant pain to this day. But just being out here with Warfighter Made is just, it helps everything out. Everything goes away. There's no more stress. I can just kind of be who I used to be.
Back in 2011 in Afghanistan, I ended up stepping on an IED. At that time, took both my legs, and I got some pretty good damage to my left arm and hand. After that, it was just all recovery. And things like this is part of the mental recovery. You know, you can do the physical therapy, the occupational therapy, and all that, and it, you know, it's all good. But after you get done with that, you just need this as kind of a distressor, I guess, from all the daily grind, I guess.
When he got hurt, you know, it's like, what do you do? How, there's not a manual, there's no books on how to live. Everybody takes things differently too. But it's all how you take it. Either you can sit there and feel sorry for yourself and, you know, this is it, or like, okay, I have to move on. You know, and luckily that's how my husband is, as well as a lot of other wounded warriors.
I served in the Marine Corps on my 2nd tour to Afghanistan. And on Thanksgiving Day, I stepped on a 20-pound improvised explosive device. So that day I stepped on it, I lost both my legs, one above the knee, one below the knee. I also took shrapnel through my helmet and had a traumatic brain injury. Yeah, it sucked, but I was alive, and there was a lot of guys that didn't make it back. You know, I took it literally step by step and kept achieving my next goal, my next goal, my next goal, until I was who I wanted to be, you know, for the rest of my life. And I mean, here I am now in Moab, Utah, crawling rocks.
From my husband's injury, we learned pretty quick that life can be taken away in a blink of an eye, and since his injury, I think one of the biggest goals is adapting and overcoming anything and just enjoying life and what this world has to offer before it's taken away from us. And being in a beautiful place like Moab, you definitely get to enjoy good people, you know, great scenery and having a great time with also getting a little bit of an adrenaline rush.
This trip was made possible because of support from Polaris. It was so important to them that off-road vehicle marketing manager Mark Epsky personally traveled to Moab to participate with us.
Yeah, this is really our 2nd year of partnering with Warfighter Made, and we're incredibly proud and honored to be a part of this trip and to be supporting Warfighter Made in their efforts around recreational therapy and what they're doing to support veterans. So we're excited to be out here with them.
The rest of the week was spent on the trails, enjoying our razors and our new friends. I reflected often about just how special trips like these are. It's not every day you get to reward heroes like Mike, Gabe, and Josh with a trip of a lifetime. One of the highlights of the trip was the time we spent on an obstacle called the Golden Crack. The obstacle requires a lot of finesse, and line selection is key. It's challenging, but that's what these warfighters like. For them, it's all about that adrenaline rush. We wanted this trip to be fun, but we wanted to challenge these guys. Because Moab requires so much finesse, we knew this was going to be hard for them. We wanted to show them that despite their injuries, they could still overcome and do everything else that we do. During our trip, our group hooked up with the Rally on the Rocks event, and took on one of Moab's most notorious trails, the Cliffhanger. It's easy to forget these guys have injuries. Cliffhanger is tough in dry weather for an experienced driver. Watching the warfighters do it was remarkable. Our final day of riding was spent on Moab Rim, a fun, challenging, and scenic trail. It was here that we took notice of how Robert interacts with the warfighters. He doesn't counsel or lecture. Instead, he offers friendship and understanding. This trip put a lot of things in perspective. We were in Moab because of these guys, but we were able to ride in Moab because of their sacrifice. We showed Gabe, Mike, and Josh how to ride their RZRs. They showed us how to live life with no limits.
We had an absolute time. The obstacles, the things these things can do, I mean, it's crazy. Crawling over these rocks, having a great time. I mean, these machines, I really want one now. I'm hooked. Sell my burner cycle, give me one of these. Definitely an excellent feeling, like I accomplished that. And I haven't felt that way in a long time, like I've accomplished something, because I've been kind of bound with my injuries. And just being able to feel like happy and not sad, or just like that excitement, that adrenaline rush once again that I haven't had since Afghanistan was amazing.
Coming out here with these vehicles, and Rob had them modified so I can actually drive them. It's a lot of fun. I like the ones where you're about to get really vertical and somehow you just keep going up instead of back. When we're flying, it's a big adrenaline rush, just crawling through obstacles, testing my abilities and see what I can still do. It's a great feeling, and I love to drive, and I can run over stuff and go fast. It makes it even better.
It's really great to watch him, be excited, and watch him just be joyful, and to see his confidence go up too. It was really nice seeing him just excited, happy that he was able to complete it all. Knock on wood, nobody flipped, nobody seriously broke anything bad. But it was great just seeing him be so happy.
Coming out here, did not expect some of the riding we were going to do. I've gone ATVing back in Colorado just on little things, and the first day, the very first ride we went up was this huge, massive rock. And right off the bat, I was like, oh, these guys are going to take us for a ride of our lives.
It's helped me kind of get in touch with a different side that I haven't had the opportunity to do so. Just being able to strap up and then just head up the mountain and be there within a couple hours. The RZRs has got me to a whole different level for sure. It was totally a challenge that I would do all over again.
Now is the time to show support for our nation's heroes. Join UTVunderground.com and Polaris RZR and visit warfightermade.org to make a donation. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of our veterans.